Hey everyone, I wanted to share what was coming up for me this morning, specifically about taking radical shifts and not waiting. But before I share that, I'm walking Toby, and this is my favorite, when the water is the same color as the sky. Gosh, I love that. Okay, so radical shifts. Radical shifts are one of my favorite things because radical meaning it can happen at any time and it can be impactful, and it doesn't require much prep. And shifts being a small shift or a large shift. And you can see how there's a lot of creative control in that, and that you can take a radical shift at any point and it can impact and affect anything in your life. So whether you want to make radical shifts in your health, in your lifestyle habits, in your relationships, your family, your jobs, your business, what have you. So even think about in your life right now, there's probably things that you want to adjust or change, whether it's just your thought patterns. And like I said, radical shift being bigger, small. So think tiny, like I want to wake up 30 minutes early, or really big. Okay, and then I read this quote by Fitzgerald. And so the context is based in relationship, but I want you to think larger than that. And the quote is, "The girl or man or woman, what have you, worth having is the one that waits for nobody." So think about that again. The girl worth having is the one that waits for no one. And what I love about that is that it reminded me that we have the opportunity. Come here, Toby. Hey, out. That we have the opportunity to create our own opportunities. Think about that. We don't have to sit around and wait for opportunities to come up, to wait for people, to wait for things. That we can create those things, that we can create those opportunities. One of my goals is I want to be a keynote speaker at one point. I want to be able to speak on stage. And so instead of waiting around for that opportunity, which could take years, I'm just going to do videos, and I'm going to speak live, and I'm going to speak to whoever will listen, basically. So I'm creating my own opportunity. And that radical shift came from deciding to not just sit back and wait. Same thing with relationships. You wanting to invite in more positive people, motivating people into your life, networking opportunities, learn from mentors and people. So you're not just going to sit around and wait for those people to walk into your life at some point, which in some cases they do, but you also need to be working on becoming the type of person who would attract those people, to be in the types of environments where those people show up. And sometimes that means that you get out of your bubble and you do something scary and you get out of your comfort zone. And that requires not waiting, and that requires radical shifts. So when you think about your larger goals, the type of person you want to be, what do they do when they wake up in the morning? Think about yourself 10 years from now. What would you be doing, and can you start to make radical shifts to get there? And so when I think about my businesses in 5-10 years, will be much larger, a larger scale, probably be busier, making more money, which means larger problems. And so that version of Megan is going to have a really solid morning routine to get her head in the right space. And she's going to be a high performer, which means she's working out and she's doing yoga and she's meditating and she's eating foods that nourish her body and drinking her superfoods. And so those are all things that I can do right now. And some of those things maybe are different for you, but you're not doing them right now. And radical shifts means that you can do it at any point, and you can choose to make that change right now. And it can start small. And the compound effect being start small, do it consistently. The compound effect gets bigger and bigger and rolls and rolls and rolls until all of a sudden you're becoming that person, or that opportunity shows up, or that person comes into your life. And you start to strengthen your skills and get really clear on what your zone of genius is. And perhaps you get stronger in your weaknesses, or you learn about who can support you in those weaknesses. And I want to just empower you to know that you have control to make those shifts. Radical meaning impactful, and you don't need to wait for anything or anybody. You can be creative, you can make pivots, and by making those choices and taking those actions, you are attracting the help and the guidance and the assistance that you need to get to your big goal or your vision, because we can't get there on our own. We need those people, we need those mentors. And the best way to attract them is just to do the work and to show up as that person who's ready to receive the help and ready to take on the challenges. And I think it starts in your head, and it starts in your heart, and it starts in taking care of your body. And so today, I want you to think about what's one thing that the future version of you who has already achieved one of your goals, what do they need to do? What did they have to do to get there? And can you invite one of those things into your life right now? So have a great day. I hope this helped you. Let's make some radical shifts. And let's do them every day with Meg.